I would have this brief due. So I'd do some more Coke and I'd stay up half the night and then I'd turn in the stuff and then I would go home and sleep for a few hours and then go run 6 miles because I was amped up on Coke and then drink. And I was like, oh my gosh,
That's brutal.
right? Like that's an extreme
It
example of
is.
trying too hard.
It's an extreme
But if,
example, and now I'm going to make you go to the opposite end of the spectrum because for a lot of
mm,
us, we get so used to the low level of resentment that we're living with that it just feels
mm,
normal. And we're not
yes,
drinking too much, we're not doing drugs, we possibly are going to hot yoga one too many times a week, or we are leaving the house to escape the conversations we really need to have with our spouse, or we are workaholics because
yes,
it's,
yep,
yeah.
yep,
So talk a
yep,
little bit about that
yep.
end.
Well, there's also the watching too much television, although
Yes.
there's some people that are like, I don't have a television, I don't watch television. I'm like, oh my gosh, there are so many good shows on TV. And that's something I do with my husband is like we record shows so we can watch them efficiently with no commercials. But that's how we spend some of our time together. But it could be the too much time on social media. It could be that you can't step away from your phone. You're always on your phone or you're always having to do something. You always have to be busy. You can never just sit and be quiet. So it doesn't have to be a full on maxed out addiction. It could just be just a distractor activity because like you said, you're so used to, ugh, is this all there is?
Yeah.
Right. And you even stop asking the question. You stop seeing the mess, the discombobulation, the unhappiness, the settling for, right? This is how it's supposed to be.
Yep. Exactly.
That is also a way to notice that there could be some adjustments to make. You don't have to make any adjustments. There's no one monitoring your adjustments. This is your life. And so what you might want to be, I think what you probably want me to talk about is how it could be. Are we not there yet?
Well, okay, so this is going to be a piece, and I think this is a
Okay.
huge other tool. And so you've got a really powerful list in the book of ways we'll know we're trying too hard. And one of them
Yeah.
that resonated with me was comparison.
Mm.
So talk about that and how you get over it.
Well, recognize that how people present themselves for the most part is the representative. You're going to only see because you're not intimately living with any of the people that you watch, follow, admire, like, share, blah, 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 right? You're not living with them from day to day. So you don't see, I'm never going to talk to you when I'm on Dragon Time. I'm never going to get snippy with you. You're never going to see that. That's real. But just to recognize that you're comparing yourself to something that doesn't exist. It's like when you find out that someone who you thought was something wasn't something, that's everyone.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Back up, back up. We're going to rewind. You're comparing yourself against something that does not exist. I hope you all are writing that one down.
Yeah.
I mean, anywhere you want to be, and I'm totally going to end up like skipping questions because I think this ties into being able to manifest, because one of the practices
Yep.
I adopted early on was if I saw somebody succeeding in an area that I really wanted to succeed in, my book writing, for instance. And
Yep.
I spent even 5 minutes in that crappy, envious, jealousy place, that whole bad bag of negative energy. What a waste of time that 5 minutes is. So I don't do that
Yep.
so much anymore. Like when I see somebody's success with something I want to do, be on stage and talk in front of people, publish their new book, get a book deal, I immediately want to celebrate with them. I want that energy. So,
Yes.
and I am going to skip now because this is what this is for you, and you say it in the book.
And the highest is the nearest, Laura. If someone else can have it, like the highest thing, the thing that you want, that high vibration, if you can see it, that's the universe going, hey, that's for you. That's the nearest.
Oh, I love
That's coming
that.
for
I've not
you.
heard that before. The highest is the nearest. So
Yep.
you're close to being able to touch it only because for the simple fact that you can see it.
Yep.
Is that what you're saying? Awesome. So,
Yep.
okay. So
Yep.
you say if You do nothing else, I suggest, in this book, and I'm totally skipping. I have a couple things before this, but adopt these 2 practices. You'll be set for life. You guys ready for this? And you're talking about wearing your Zero Fucks t-shirt.
Yes.
And attracting your ass off, which is kind of what we're talking about in this celebratory energy, right? So please tell the listeners about both things.
Okay. So the hashtag Zero Fucks t-shirt is, it came from me figuring out like what I cared about and what I didn't care about. Right? Like, so how much caring did I have? I'm gonna go next level. Like, how many fucks in my fuck bucket? Right? Like, oh, I'm all out. Nope, none in there. Yeah. Sorry, I just can't care. At some point you kind of say about certain things or people, I just can't care about that, because it's that 5 minutes of I'm comparing my real self against this idealized person that doesn't exist, right? So it's like, nope, I can't care about that. So when you adopt that attitude, then you are able to stop trying so fucking hard, because you know who you are, what you like and what you don't like, right?
Yeah.
I might be able to do a 14-hour fast, but I'm not going to do the 90-hour fast. Sorry. I like this. I don't like this. Sorry, don't care. You give as much value to the good as the bad. This is like being compliment and criticism neutral. So this is, oh my gosh, I love you. I love your books. It's like, okay, but you haven't seen me during Dragon Time, like bite my daughter's head off. So you might not like me so much if you knew all of me. So thank you. I take that compliment and I say thank you. And then the person, because the world can be cruel, and people feel like with their fingers, they can say something they would never say to someone's face and be critical or whatever, right?
Right.
There's a lot of criticism. So when someone says, you are just the worst parent in the entire world, how could you raise children without their father? I have literally had someone say that to me. How could you raise your daughter without her father? You should have put your needs aside to save that marriage, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, thank you for that input. And you don't know. So when you can give you're amazing the same weight as you suck, that's part of the Zero Fucks attitude. Is like, okay, because what you do give weight to is to the people who really know you.
Yes.
So when my husband says something to me, when my best friend says something to me, good or bad, right? Positive or constructive, let's say, then I can say, wow, if I really am doing that, that is not who I want to be. So point that out to me, or thank you. Those words mean a lot because they're coming from you and you are one to know.
This is fantastic. Finally, I think you need a whole book about this topic.
I might. And maybe my next book is hashtag Zero Fucks. Maybe I'll just go all the way off the deep end.
There you go.
Put words around it. I'm just going to go right in there. But the last part of it is you don't make any apologies for it.
Right.
You like what you like. You don't like what you don't like. You are neutral to the feedback and the compliments. And that's it.
That's tough, that last piece you realize, neutral to the feedback and compliments, and actually not attaching to either end. It's not easy. Most of us crave positive feedback. We want to know we're okay. We want to know we're doing good. We want to know we're inspiring people. But I like what you say about, picking and choosing who you're really listening to for either end. Your best friend, your spouse, the people who have known you the longest, who you trust with your vulnerability in those areas.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. And if you've chosen correctly, if you've chosen the right people correctly, then they're going to compliment you, and they're also going to give you constructive criticism instead of taking that particular moment to cut you off at the knees.
Yes.
Right. The right people in your life are going to say, hey, like my husband is fantastic during Dragon Time, which I think you figured out what that is, right?
Yeah, I did. I love it.
I think everyone did. Even my French coach in Nice was like, what is this Dragon Time? And I told her, and she's like, oh, that's fantastic. She gave me the French term for it. But, she's like, yours is better. I'm going to use that. That you have the right people around you who are going to step in front of you and say, like what my husband did the first time, like one of the first times he said anything, he was like, are you okay? And I said, yes. And he said, well, Lexi and I are perceiving you as cranky.
That's perfect.
Like, so if there's anything we can do to make life easier for you right now, that would be great for us to know, because we are perceiving you as cranky. And we know that you would not want us to perceive you as cranky.
Oh my God, that takes a special human being to put it like that.
He's delightful. He's absolutely wonderful. So you part of having zero fucks is like making sure that you have the right people around you too.
Yeah.
Who embrace your authentic self, and who think that your authentic self is like their person.
Yes.
Right? Like they're the person who's not going, oh, I don't say that word. They're like, I need that t-shirt. Are you selling those? Like, are you giving them out as Christmas presents? Is it a door prize? What's happening right now? How do I get one?
Well,
those are your people.
We're
right?
also...
And envision Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, we're also afraid that our authentic self isn't going to be something that's embraced.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. And there are 11 billion people on the planet.
Exactly.
There are going to be people that are going to, there's a whole goth community. I'm not in it, but they're all there, right? I am not going to go to the NASCAR races and like take my fifth wheel and go hang out at the NASCAR race in the center. But there's a whole community of people who do that.
There are. Well, I can't tell you how many times you're at it's actually your chapter 4, the you are enough. And that's what we're talking about right now, like feeling enough inside of our authentic self, right? I can't tell you how many times the you are enough comes up in the work that I have been doing too. So, what is there any other way that you would offer to the listeners about how you're helping your readers get to that point of feeling enough? I mean, it's one thing to talk about it, right? We can talk about it till we're blue in the face, and you need to do this, and you need to be authentic, and you are enough, right? We hear it every day. But how do you get to feeling it? What's the magic moment?
There is magic. I don't know the magic. I think it's a constant. It's making these choices that I'm talking about, some of these choices, asking yourself the right question.
Do you remember a moment for yourself where you turned a corner?
Well, I was a foster kid, so I have a pretty rough background. And so, yes, I wasn't looking to have self-esteem. I was looking to have a lack of self-esteem. I was looking for zero. It's like when you're in debt, right? You're like, I don't need to be a millionaire. I'd like the creditors to stop calling. I'd like to owe zero.
Yes, I get you.
We'll work on the abundance later, but let's just get to zero first. I think part of it is just saying, you don't have to say, I'm the coolest person in the world, right? You just say like, I'm good.
Yeah,
I'm good. I'm just going to start with, I'm good. I've got this, right? I've got this. I've made it this far. I've handled the other challenges. So no, I don't think there's a moment when I turned a corner, but I do know that everything starts with a question.
Yeah.
That a power question that you can answer, not am I enough? No. Okay. C A, right? Do I suck? Maybe. C question 2. Am I enough? Maybe, right? C question 1. So you're in a vicious circle. Asking yourself the question, am I enough? Well, Honoree says I'm enough, and she gives me 3 reasons. You are enough because you're here. You're enough because you're the only you, and somebody already loves you. So sorry, too late. You're already enough. And then you don't need any more than that. And then you can start to work on putting self-esteem in your self-esteem bucket.
Nice. I love that. My version is you were born, so you're worthy.
Got it.
Yeah.
So I said that you're alive.
Yep.
Whoever made you and however you got here is you did. So you're amazing. And so you're here, you're still here. So therefore you're enough. Now build on that, take that and put some stuff on it. I actually keep, and I didn't talk about this in the book either, this might be helpful. It's coming through me intuitively to say that I have a folder in my inbox called love.
Nice.
And whenever someone sends me, a friend or a client or a colleague or another author or a reader, whenever someone sends me something and they say, you're amazing, this is great, that those words do feel good. So I don't keep a non-love folder. When I'm like, I'm feeling too good about myself, I'm going to go read this of them. When I'm having a tough day, I have that folder.
That's
and
nice.
Now I've had it for years. I just go and and kind of flip through it.